Welcome you all. Today is Friday, January the 20th, 2023, and welcome to episode 41 of Real Estate, Real Life, Real Talk, and Real Live with Damon the Agent. I appreciate you all joining me today. If you all can just take a second to make sure that you're subscribed to the channel, please like and share this on all your social media platforms. Well, as you all know, I always like to start my episode with real estate talk so I can inform people about what's going on in the wonderful world of real estate. Let me adjust this lighting a little bit. Okay. So, like I was saying, I like to inform you on what's going on in the wonderful world of real estate. So, today I thought I'll talk about reverse mortgages. And the reason that I want to talk about reverse mortgages is because that has been a topic that has been coming up a lot when it pertains to people who are interested in selling property, and also when it pertains to people who are looking at their situations right now and then they're deciding when they're moving forward, like if the economy folds and things of that nature, and how about going at things. So, I wanted just to give an insight. First of all, what is a reverse mortgage? A reverse mortgage is basically a loan that is taken from the property. The property, when you have equity in your property, and if you are 62 years or older and have at least 50% of equity in your home, you qualify for a reverse mortgage if you do not owe federal taxes. Now, I briefly mentioned and talked about taxes on my previous episode. And of course, taxes plays a huge role when it pertains to owning property. But when you have a primary residential and you are at least 62 years and older, a reverse mortgage actually pays the homeowner. It gives them money back every month. That's why it's called reverse, because instead of you're paying the mortgage, basically the mortgage pays you. And that is when you have equity in your home. So let me elaborate a little bit further. Okay. A reverse mortgage is a type of loan that allows homeowners ages 62 and older, typically who've paid off their mortgage, to borrow part of their home's equity as tax-free income. Now, that's true, but there's also some leeway too. You don't have to always pay off your mortgage. If your mortgage is at least 50% paid off and you have equity in your home, and you qualify with not on any federal taxes, and you are 62 years of age, you still can qualify for a reverse mortgage. Now, I talk about this because there are a lot of people who are up in age, and then some people who, typically are not working and they're looking for means of income. Again, with a reverse mortgage, depending on your home's value, depends on how much you also are going to get back every month. That would be a discussion that the homeowner will have to hold with a reverse mortgage company. There are plenty of people who have done reverse mortgages, and that's another reason why I'm talking about it, because currently I am dealing with two situations in which people are looking to sell their homes and they have a reverse mortgage on the property. And because they have the reverse mortgage on the property, it's not even in their name, it was in their mother's name. So, of course, there's equity in the property. So there are some key things that I want to make you aware of also when doing a reverse mortgage. If your family or loved one does a reverse mortgage and then you know they're getting up in age, I would strongly suggest that you become the executive estate and you have power of attorney, or you get power of attorney of your parents. Because what tends to happen is whenever a person owns a home, and if and when they pass away, the mortgage company finds out. They know that someone has died. So I don't want people to think that, oh, the checks are going to constantly keep coming in and everything, because, the way with information is today on the internet and everything, when people pass away, it's recorded and they get information and hold of that. The moment the mortgage company finds out that the person that they were paying the reverse mortgage to has passed away, the first thing that the mortgage company tries to do is to obtain that property back. Because one, they already know what's equity in that property. Two, they know that the person is no longer around. So they try to secure the property. So what they would do is similar in a foreclosed situation, is they would send someone by the house to see if anyone's still living in the property. If no one is living in the property at the time that the mortgage company sends someone by, the mortgage company will secure that property. That means they would change the locks on it. They will winterize it if it's in the wintertime to secure that property. And then next step after securing the property is proceeding with the foreclosure to make sure that they obtain the property. That is the reason why I say it's very important that if you know someone who has a reverse mortgage, that you or the children or whomever, gets power of attorney, because if the house goes into reverse mortgage, that means there is a balance owed on the house. So when you sell the property, it's not free and clear, but that does not mean that the person who was the power of attorney cannot make a profit off of the sale of the resident, because the bank is going to make a profit. That's why they're trying to obtain the property. So with that being said, after they one, secure the property, after they two, go through the foreclosure procedures, then the other thing comes as like them getting the property. Now, the person who will be the potential power of attorney, if they choose to sell the property, they will have to sign off on everything. So that's another reason why you want to make sure that you have the power of attorney while the loved ones are still alive. It would be very, and in most cases, people to have a will. It would be good for people to have life insurance, but of course, unfortunately, everyone doesn't have a will and everyone doesn't have life insurance. So I'm just saying this to say that in the two situations that I'm currently dealing with, the good thing is that there was a power of attorney that was made. On both cases, though, the banks did try to secure the property. So I'm just saying this to say that with reverse mortgages, you can still sell the property if you're trying to sell the property. The person who is now the power of attorney or the people who may be living in it will not continue to get those reverse mortgage payments from the mortgage company. So please keep that in mind. Now, there are some other things for people who are trying to get a reverse mortgage that they should also take into consideration. That if a person who's still alive is trying to get the reverse mortgage, like I said, you have to be at least 62 years of age, but that must also be your primary residential that you live in majority of the time. Now, a lot of times there are some people who have multiple properties, and they'll try to, let's say, pull money from one property, get money from another one. But there are ways that the mortgage company will verify that information. So it must be your primary residential. And like I mentioned before, you cannot owe federal taxes, not even with the payment option that I previously mentioned about, whether you can get approved for a home loan owing taxes. You can get approved for a home loan owing taxes, like I previously said in my other video, but that must be in a payment plan. With a reverse mortgage, no, you can't owe taxes, period. And then, like I said, also, you have to have a low balance as far as your mortgage on the home, or at least 50% down, at least 50% down. That's what most people want when it pertains to trying to obtain a reverse mortgage. So please keep these things into consideration if you're one of the ones who is looking to get a reverse mortgage, or if you know someone who's trying to get a reverse mortgage. That is a good means for people who may need additional income and they plan on keeping their property forever, because there is a timeline as far as how long they will pay the reverse mortgage to a person. That is always disclosed between the homeowner and the banks. It varies. So I would always strongly suggest that you talk to the mortgage company to find out what your options are when it pertains to a reverse mortgage. I'm just a realtor who is very well educated on a lot of things, and I try to share some of these things with you all. But it's always good to do your research and to verify things by talking to the appropriate people who work at these places. And when it pertains to a reverse mortgage, who work as far as in the mortgage industry. So I wanted to share that. And then also, please keep in mind that if there is a reverse mortgage on a home, the home still can be sold. But you're going to have there's going to have to be an executive of the estate, a person who has the power of attorney, in order to sign off for the person who the home was previously in their name. If not, otherwise, it will end up probably going to foreclosure, because the banks will try their very, very best to obtain the property. So again, please like and subscribe to all my channels. This should be at the bottom on here, as far as on Instagram, You can always click on my link in the bio. It will have all my information there. Give me 1 second. I am going to come back with my next topic. All right, you all. So my next topic of the day, and today I did not have a guest spotlight. So, but my next topic of the day, and this has been lingering on me like all week because of all of the things that I've been seeing. It's called provide and protect, not divide and disrespect. Now, what do I mean by that? Meaning, I've seen various situations this week where there was a young man in Alabama who shot and killed the young lady because the lady um, did not accept his advances. So, unfortunately, he killed her. I saw another situation where a man is going through a divorce and he ransacked the house where his wife lives at. And, and she's scared for her life and she's thinking that he's trying to kill her. I saw another situation where in Ohio, where a 14-year-old was shot by a 14-year-old girl was shot by um, a 14-year-old guy because she dumped him. And I also had a friend of mine who daughter goes to a school down in Waldorf, and this young lady she's a teenager, she's 13, and she was beat up and attacked by a boy. And I say provide and protect because as men, I feel like there are a lot of weak men in society today. I feel like there are a lot of punks who target those who they feel that they can take advantage of. I feel as though that men are not men like they should be. A lot of men are so emotional these days that they, are taking out their frustrations on other females, which is really, what I'm saying, those are punk moves, to be honest with you, because a lot of men were designed to provide and protect the women. We were supposed to provide for our women. We were supposed to protect our women. But nowadays, it seems like there are so many guys who are beating up and killing women because they emotionally are distraught. Their pride and ego has been, uh, blown. I mean, their pride and ego has just basically just been, what I'm saying, shattered by these women. So they're just trying to do all these things. Some of them even try to use scare tactics for these women to stay with them. And I just, it just bothers me because, to be honest with you, I have 4 daughters. I think about them. I think about the world that we live in today with so many people who got guns and they shouldn't have guns. I feel like a lot of punks got guns, to be honest with you. That makes them feel big and brave and all this other stuff and everything. But I just feel like a lot of men are like that because they didn't have a real man around them growing up. I feel like if a lot of men were checked when they were younger, were checked and told how to handle things, that they wouldn't be handling things the way that they do. I'm not saying that pertains to all because, I'm saying, everything doesn't always pertain to all, but I do feel like it pertains to a lot and a majority. Because of the fact is, how can, as a man, you get mad because a woman rejects you? How can you, as a man, especially these teenagers, you're beating up on young girls? How can, like, even the man is going through the divorce and you're smashing up your wife's house? Now, don't get me wrong, yeah, the courts are not in favor of a man. I know this personally from what I've been through. But at the same time, though, I don't think there's nothing in this world that should make a man want to do any physical harm to a woman. I mean, there are way too many women in this world for a man to go out and choose for. You can always find someone else. I mean, I don't get it. Like, even with the young man in Alabama who was 21 and he killed the 23-year-old because she didn't want to talk to him. You're playing basketball. You're being, swarmed by groupies and females all the time. You had the potential to go to the NBA, so you have many opportunities. But it's like nowadays, the way society is and stuff, it's so many punks. And I'm not gonna lie, it's just so many punks out in the world and stuff. They so weak-minded. People are so egotistical. They think they the man. They mad and everything. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie. I see a lot of them when I go out. I can look on their face and tell who they are. They insecure. They mad at you, or you know what I'm saying. Like as a man, I can feel the vibe stuff. Like you know what I'm saying. I stand over 6 feet tall. I'm 6'3" to be exact. You know what I'm saying? I dress kind of nice at times. If I walk in a room and I see somebody who's way shorter and he might be bummy, he might give him, this little look or vibe. It's just like this type of insecureness amongst men nowadays is so rampant and stuff. It's ridiculous, to be honest with you. And I think a lot of men really need to check themselves. They need to check other men too, because these men who are attacking these females and killing these women, what if that was your mother? What if that was your sister? What if that was your daughter that these men are doing things to? How would you feel and how would you react? The problem is they don't think about that because they're so emotionally gone and anger takes over that they have no self-control. That's why a lot of times men can go somewhere with their women, and if the women shows a little skin and everything, a lot of men don't know how to act because they have no self-control. They act like vultures at times. And the same thing applies when it pertains to what's going on in the world. There is no self-control amongst a lot of people. So we should be providing and protecting women instead of dividing and disrespecting them. It's so much disrespect that goes on amongst men these days and women that it's just terrible. It's really terrible. And it's just like all what I saw this week, all these episodes of these females being attacked or killed by women, it just didn't make any sense to me, you know? And then I looked at the men. You understand? I'm not saying as men we don't go through things. I'm not saying as men that we can't be angry and stuff, but it's the way that we handle things. You know what I'm saying? The way that we handle things today in this world, in this society, is just so wrong that it's beyond disbelief for me. Because I'm saying to myself when I see this, like, how does a 14-year-old girl get attacked in school because she gets shot at in Ohio because she breaks up with somebody? How does another 13-year-old get jumped or beat up by a guy because she doesn't want to speak to him? How does a 23-year-old get killed because she pushes off a guy trying to talk to her? How does a woman who's going through divorce, the husband comes back with a tank or something to smash into the house because she doesn't want to be with him? It's like, when are people going to check their emotions to check themselves? You know what I'm saying? This society we live in is ridiculous. And to be honest with you, a lot of those men need a ass whoop and beyond. You know what I'm saying? They need to be stomped in the ground for real. Because the moment you touch somebody else's daughter or mother, you know what I'm saying? As a man, you violated so many things at that point and everything. You deserve whatever you get, plain and simple, you know. And I just find it very disheartening seeing this on a daily basis because, like I said, as men, we're supposed to provide and protect. Where are the men providing and protecting these women at? That's why I say men, the real men, need to step up. And at the same time, men need to be better fathers to their sons and to their daughters and everything, because I just can't get, like I said, I saw the situation with a girl in Ohio got shot because she broke up with her boyfriend. She was 14. Y'all, I don't know if y'all saw it on Instagram or not, but I did. Then, like I said, I got a friend. She was telling about her daughter, who's a teenager, also 13, who got attacked by a guy because she didn't want to talk to him. Then I saw the situation where the 21-year-old killed the 23-year-old in Alabama. And then the situation, I'm like, this is crazy. Y'all don't see that this is crazy? Because if y'all can't see the problem, then a lot of times, because there's no way women and little girls should be in fear of guys and stuff like that. But part of the reason is there's no guys around them. Where the guys at? Oh, the guys are somewhere else spending their money on OnlyFans. That's where they at. Or they're too busy, you know what I'm saying? Doing what? I don't know. Because it just doesn't make any sense to me because these women need protection. But I just wanted to say, as men, check yourself and check your emotions because, excuse me, there's no way that these women and females should be getting attacked the way that they getting attacked. Where are the men stepping up after that happens? You know what I'm saying? I feel like today in society, we have become so comfortable in our lifestyle and living that don't nobody want to do anything, because if it doesn't affect them, but one way or another, it affects us all. It affects us all, whether you realize it or not. So you can be comfortable right now in your little world until something shakes it up, because there's always going to be something that shakes it up. Trust and believe. That's just how the world goes, And I feel like nowadays you got so many men who sit back and they watch things. And of course, you ain't gonna get in some business that ain't your business. I get that sometimes, but I'm just saying that even the people that, like the fathers, for example, of these girls and all that, where they at? You know what I'm saying? Where they at? The brothers, where they at? Where the people at? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like kids come into the world and people get neglected. But the people that get neglected about are the people they need to be protected by. And people don't even see that. So I'm just saying, as men, please protect and provide for your loved ones, because a lot of these girls and women in the world didn't come here by themselves, and they don't need to be by themselves when they're dealing with so many things in this world, especially when they're dealing with other men, because there's a lot of men out here that are predators, and they act like vultures, and they act like savages, and they act uncivilized, and they act like they ain't never seen a woman. That's why sometimes when women go places, they don't even want to talk to people, and then the moment they don't talk to somebody getting some gas, for an example, then the guys want to go off on them, call them all types of bees and this and that, just because, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I said, why do some men feel like because a woman don't want to talk to you, that you got to curse her out? What makes you think you so special? How you know she ain't got somebody that she deeply in love? Because what if you were the person she was deeply in love with? Would you want her out there talking to somebody else? But people don't think like that. You know what I'm saying? People just can't take rejection. And that's sad. That's sad. When people can't take rejection, that means there's a disconnect somewhere with you and stuff. Because throughout life, you're going to be rejected in many ways. You play sport, you shoot a shot, you might get rejected. You apply for a job, you might get rejected. You're going to be rejected in some aspect. It's called life. You know what I'm saying? There're going to be times you win, there're going to be times you lose, but you learn. You're supposed to learn. But unfortunately, what's going on in society now, I can't even. I swear I shook my head all week with all this news that I was hearing about these women and these girls. So, men, please do better for the women in your life. I'm talking about for the women in your life, for your girlfriend, for your wife, for your daughters, for your sisters, for your aunts, for your uncles, for your mothers, for your grandmothers. Do better for them. Try to be available more for them. Try to spend more time with them, because they need you. Because the fact is, there's too many women going through things and dealing with stuff from men, other men, and they don't have no help. So they feel trapped. They in certain situations. And then when they try to get out of those situations, look what's happening to them. They're being attacked. They're being killed. This doesn't make any sense at all. So I'm saying, as men, you have to understand that you were designed to provide and protect. Provide and protect, not to divide and disrespect. That's not what we were here for. So I hope that you'll understand and got the lesson that I was just trying to say in that little segment right then and then. Because as men, again, our mission is to provide and protect, not divide and disrespect. So hold on for 1 second. I'm going to come back with my closing remarks. Thank you for coming back. So again, I'm going to end the show, but I just want to do a recap. Again, I was talking about reverse mortgages. I want you all to know that if you're 62 years or older, you have at least 50% equity or more in your home, and you do not owe the federal government any taxes, you can qualify for reverse mortgage. You have to also talk to the mortgage company to see, the eligibility requirements, and also to see how that falls with you. And also, if you're looking to sell your house and you have a reverse mortgage, or if there's a reverse mortgage on it, please contact me, because I'm a great resource, and at the same time, it can be sold, because everything I touch turns to sold. And when it pertains to our women, fellas, please remember that we were here to provide and protect, not to divide and disrespect. Please try to be more there for the women in your life, because the women in your lives need you more than you may know. Some of them are dealing with things on their own. Um, we don't want any of our loved ones to become statistics, as we keep seeing every day, with women being attacked, women being beat up, women being killed because of some punk dude somewhere who couldn't control their emotions. You know, these guys who are doing that, they're just as bad as pedophiles and everyone else. Because the fact is, though, is people, anyone who will attack someone who is less vulnerable to them and that they know they have an advantage is a punk and a bully. And at the same time, though, our women need us men to be there for them. So I hope you got the lesson today. Please make sure you subscribe to all my channels. Thank you for joining me on Real Estate, Real Life, Real Talk, and Real Live with Damon the Agent. I will see you next week. Have a great weekend, everybody.